What's going on, guys? Riley here from RP Productions, and today we'll be reviewing this brand new 2017 Ford Raptor. The 2017 Ford Raptor basically took everything good about the previous Raptor and made it a little bit better. Now, sitting here, this second gen Raptor features 450 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque coming from a twin-turbo V6 EcoBoost motor. Ford also designed this truck to be about 300 pounds lighter than the previous gen Ford Raptor to make 0 to 60 times happen in about 5.2 seconds from a truck. That's impressive. Now, aside from having more horsepower and torque than a normal F-150, the Raptor pretty much has everything else upgraded as well, including the shocks, wheels, tires, interior, exterior styling, etc. I mean, basically the truck is a completely reworked F-150 to make the entire thing one badass package. I think that most people can agree the styling of the new Raptor is better than the first one. Not to say the first one was bad, it was a great platform for this one to build off of, but man, just looking at this thing driving down the road, it is absolutely one of the most aggressive things you can see on the road. Now that you've got a basic walk around of the truck, let's go ahead and talk about some of the unique features for the Raptor. Starting off at the front of the vehicle, you'll notice there is 3 amber lights at the front to signify that this vehicle is larger than 80 inches wide, which is mandated by the government to have those orange lights on the front of the vehicle somewhere. So Ford put them in the grille to make this absolutely badass look. Also, you'll notice underneath the Ford logo, there is a front-facing camera so you can go rock crawling with all your buddies and see what's going on the trail in front of you before you cross. A unique front bumper, tow hooks, wheels and tires, and suspension are also noticed up here on the front of the vehicle. These tires are 35-inch BF Goodwrench tires that are meant to go off-roading, and the wheels are a nice 17-inch that are made by Ford, custom for the Raptor, that are apparently pretty hard to get. Moving on to the side of the vehicle now, it's pretty close to a normal F-150. You have the nice, unique running boards to the Raptor. The spotlight's located here on the side view mirrors. As mentioned before, there is the unique Fox Racing suspension setup here on the Raptor, which could probably be made in a video on its own, just because the Ford engineers have tailored this suspension so perfectly to the Raptor. It is truly a work of art. One of my absolute favorite features on the Raptor, go ahead, grab the key fob, press this button twice, and look at that. The tailgate opens up for you. How cool is that? I'm sure most of you have seen this already featured in videos, but it is really cool and something I wanted to note. You have the nice step here on the tailgate, as well as the nice handle that goes along with it to help you get into the back of the tailgate. Now, all of these features are great and all, but I know why you're here. You want to hear about how this thing drives on the road in a normal everyday circumstance. You want to hear about that brand new 10-speed automatic transmission, and you want to see this beast of a motor. So here it is, the custom motor specifically for the Raptor, a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, 510 pound-feet of torque, 450 horsepower. If you want to get a glimpse of the turbo, you actually have to come over here to the fender, and if I get a good view on it, that right there is one of the turbos, and you can basically, guess where the other one is on the exact other side. So enough talking about this beast. Let's go ahead and hop inside before this storm blows in, and let's give this bad boy a proper review. Alright guys, so now inside the Ford Raptor, it is a very comfortable place to be. It's amazing how far trucks have come in the last few years. I mean, when you think of trucks, you think of like, oh, trucks, America, and off-roading and stuff. And while this truck can do that, it's very comfortable. Like, it's really nice. But enough about features and niceness and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and take it for a spin and see if this thing drives as well as it looks. So this will be the first review of any vehicle on the channel that I've done in the rain, so that's interesting, but I think I picked a pretty good vehicle for a rain review, because just after driving this thing for about 3 minutes now, it has a very confidence-inspiring feel that you can pretty much throw anything at this truck and it'll do it. And I've seen so many videos of this thing on YouTube already. For example, when Motor Trend got their hands on this thing and they were taking it through the Baja dunes and stuff, and they were jumping the truck, and it was fine. It just took everything. So it's pretty cool knowing you can go to the Ford dealership. I want something that is bulletproof. Sell you this thing, you're good to go. Don't have to worry about a single thing. So currently I'm cruising at about 52 miles per hour in 10th gear. Yeah, that's right, 10th gear. 10-speed automatic transmission that was co-developed with GM and Ford. It's weird looking down and seeing that you're in 10th gear and seeing that there's 10 gears to even choose from in the first place. Part of me thinks it's almost too much, but I'll be anxious to see throughout the duration of this review how I enjoy it. And now just, gradually accelerating. It just skipped from 3 to 5 to 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10. That's so weird. I won't lie, I kind of expected it to feel like you were, shifting more, like shift, 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 but instead they made it where it's just very gradual and you don't feel the shifts at all. So in that regard, I actually do like it, and I don't think that it's too many gears, even though 10 gears is a lot of gears. I guess what I'm trying to say is that Ford and Chevy, they knew what they were doing when they designed this transmission to make it feel very relaxed and nothing out of the ordinary. So I know the truck can drive, refined and whatnot, but at the same time I want this truck to be badass and I want it to be, a fast Raptor. So let's go ahead, we'll put it into sport mode. There are 6 different modes to choose from, but sport mode is the one you want, and let's floor it. Wow. Now you have to keep in mind that was a relatively high-speed roll and we're in a 5,600 pound truck, but I can promise you this, when you look down at the speedometer, you are going much faster than it feels like. It's a vehicle that really masks the speed, which can be a good and bad thing, get you in a lot of trouble, but it's so just refined, and it's weird, but it's a Ford truck, but it's refined. If I had to pick one word about this thing, I know a lot of people would be like badass, tough. I would pick refined, and that's weird, and that's not what I thought I would say about this truck, but that's a good thing. So now we'll slow her down a little bit and then basically do the same thing. So this time we'll do 30 miles per hour. There we go. Yeah, it definitely likes the lower rolls. That's cool. And for a 10-speed transmission, it's kind of funny. We got up to just over 60-ish, and we were only in 4th gear. So I guess that just goes to show you, how many of those gears were just designed for highway cruising, fuel economy, that type of thing, which is good when you are trying to move, basically a 6,000 pound truck. And I guess we get to test out the cornering capabilities of the truck, which, it's not a sports car by any means, but for a truck, at the end of the day, you have to realize this is a truck. It does pretty good. So the owner of this vehicle is one of my good buddies. His Instagram can be found at SVT_Carter. He has owned a GT500, a Hellcat, a GT350, and now this Raptor. Kind of an interesting array of vehicles to be ending up with a Ford Raptor, but he says he absolutely loves this thing. He daily drives it, has no issues with it. I tried getting some complaints out of him and he really didn't have any. And me driving it, I don't think I have any complaints either. I think if you're looking for a truck that does absolutely everything, looks badass, has a great interior with just nice soft touch materials pretty much everywhere, a race-inspired feel, there's only one thing to get, and that would be a Ford Raptor. I know the Ram Rebel is also a pretty cool truck that's kind of designed to, kind of fight against the Raptor, and it is cool. But I just think that the Raptor it just holds the crown of being king of the badassness in truck world. Now I guess sitting here trying to think of something negative to say about this truck, because you can watch any YouTube video and they'll tell you 10,000 things that are positive about a vehicle, which kind of gets repetitive after a while. So in my reviews, I like to come up with something negative about each vehicle just to give you honest feedback. The only real negative thing I can say about this truck is that it has the sound of, the V6, which honestly isn't that bad. But if it was this truck with the sound of the previous gen Raptor, it would be just that much better. But here I am driving through the rain, taking a pretty sharp corner, and the truck's just barreling on through. Doesn't even care. I mean, you can't feel within the truck at all that it's wanting to go off the road or anything like that. Like, it was just made for harsh conditions, bad weather, jumping it, going mudding. Like, it was just made to do all the fun stuff you wanted to do as a little kid, and that's kind of how this truck makes you feel. It makes you feel like a little kid but it can also make you feel like the nice, classy business person going to work if you want it to be that way. It's a very two-faced personality truck. Now, just earlier I talked about there's 6 different modes to choose from on this car. So you have normal, you have sport, weather, mud and sand. Oh, hold on.
Please say a command.
Cancel.
Canceling.
Thank you. Sorry, 4x4 shift was in progress, but mud and sand, and we have Baja mode and rock crawl mode. And rock crawl mode wants me to go into 3 miles per hour. Nope. But you get what I'm saying about the truck can do pretty much everything. I mean, it has an option for just about every circumstance, which is cool. You can tailor the truck to whatever your driving needs are. You know, part of me is kind of glad that it's raining today, because it just kind of adds to the Ford Raptor-ness about doing off-road stuff and bad conditions, and we're on a really bumpy road, well, usually bumpy road, but the Raptor soaks up bumps so well where, you know, for example, I drive a Camaro. If I was on this road in the rain right now, the bumpy road, I would be sitting here freaking out. This thing, I'm just sitting here chilling, just cruising, not worried in the slightest bit. And that's just one of the great features about the Ford Raptor. It's just a no-worry vehicle. So here's something interesting. At the very beginning of this review, when I spoke about the 3 amber lights at the front of the vehicle, because this truck is so wide, getting in this truck and driving it, it doesn't feel that wide. I feel like I could daily drive this thing and not worry about, you know, just daily driving it. Yeah, I'm sure parking in a parking spot wouldn't be an ideal situation every day, but could be done. But just driving it, I'll be honest, I kind of went into this thinking I was going to drive an apartment building on wheels, and that's not at all what this thing is. It's just, I knew this truck would be good, but it's even better than I thought. I guess after coming to a stop right there, I did realize that the brakes are not the best on it. I mean, I'm sure I could slam on them and they would work fine, but just kind of easing onto the brakes, there is a little bit more to be desired there. So let's rack that up for 2 negative things. Brakes kind of meh, and the sound is kind of meh, but whatever. It's a great truck. I really like this thing. Now, the owner of this truck was telling me that this specific model has all of the upgraded interior features with the carbon fiber package and pretty much every package you can add to a Raptor this one has, aside from the orange accents and the graphics on the tailgate area. But he was saying that this thing was right around $68,000. For $68,000 and everything that this truck has to offer, I don't see how you could go wrong. Not to mention the resale value on this truck is going to be great. Raptors have always had great resale values. Look at the first gen Raptors. You couldn't find them used for much less than you could find a new one. It was really impressive, and I expect this thing to be the exact same way, which really, when you look at it, makes this truck more affordable than people think. If you can buy the truck for, let's say, 70 grand, you own it for a year, you turn around and sell it for 65 grand, you lost $5,000, own the truck for a year, what's the big deal? You got to enjoy a truck for 5 grand. Granted, those are hypothetical numbers, but you get what I'm saying. It's not as bad as everybody thinks when they think of, oh, like, for example, Lamborghinis. You look at a Lambo, you're like, oh, wow, it's $300,000. But if you buy it on the used market, you turn it around and you sell it for basically the same price you bought it for, the cost of ownership didn't cost you anything, and that's how you can afford vehicles that are what most people would think is out of reach. And it can be done. You just got to be smart with your money and smart with your purchases. This is a smart purchase. Well, guys, that's all I got for you today. The all-new 2017 Ford Raptor is definitely a badass vehicle. I'd rank it way up at the top of badass vehicles I've ever driven. And it does it all. I don't know what else there is to say. It's a great truck, does it all. Pretty good deal for what it is. I say buy one. Thank you guys for watching this video, and once again, thank you to the owner for letting me drive his beast today, and his Instagram will be down below in the description. Go check it out, tell him RP sent you. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Take it easy. I feel like this thing is just like just a everyday driver tank.
It really is. Like that's exactly how I feel, and that's why I'm like, I don't want to get rid of it. Like, I think this is one of the first cars in a long time where I'm like, damn, I don't really want to live without this car. Like, I think I could work around keeping this car as a daily driver and, you know, just getting something else.